Today, we will rank the first 151 Pokemon. Why, you ask? Because I want to. Do I always have to have a reason? Do I have to connect this with like the law of Silksong or something? I don't think I have to. Sometimes I feel like I can do a video just for fun, and sometimes I feel like that's quite nice. I will be ranking all of the first gen Pokemon from Bulbasaur to Mew, and we'll be ranking them on this here tier list from S tier all the way to F tier. C tier, in this case, not being an average Pokemon, but a Pokemon that elicits neither positive nor negative emotions. Basically, Pokemon I feel indifferent about, because I feel like the medium Pokemon is actually around B tier, because most of them are quite nice. But we'll see. Let's get into it. First up, we've got Bulbasaur. And also I got like a list of the English Pokemon names opened up next to me, because I do remember most of the German names and I do remember most of the English names, but I get them mixed up sometimes. Bulbasaur goes into S tier. Super cute. It's just a dinosaur with a plant on it. Great Pokemon for a first plant Pokemon. And I think it continues quite nicely with Ivysaur, who I'm also going to put into the S tier. Many overlook Ivysaur, but I feel like it's a very good middle evolution, and you've got the nice motif of like the, what's it called, the bulb, and the kind of blossoming stage, and then the full-on flower that we get with Venusaur. And I really like the color scheme in this one. I feel like it's nice and brighter. So yeah, that's nice. They're almost the same to me. I'm also going to be ranking them within the tier roughly, but those two are almost the same for me, like middle to high S tier. Venusaur, on the other hand, is going to go into the A tier. A very iconic mon. I feel like it's not given justice in this screenshot. I feel like it looks kind of ass in this one, but it's just a big chill dude. I do not like the flower the plant they went for the final version of this. I feel like some other designs maybe could have worked better, but still, it's a nice end to an almost perfect line of Pokemon. So yeah, that's great. Speaking of almost perfect line of Pokemon, next we got the fire starters. Starting with Charmander, that's a hard one. I feel like I'm gonna put Charmander just in front of Bulbasaur and Ivysaur. It's cute. It's not as complex as Bulbasaur. I feel like Bulbasaur has a more interesting design philosophy, but Charmander is just the start to a very cool evolution line. A very cool evolution line that kind of has its dip with Charmeleon, which I'm going to put into the highest of B tier. It's kind of awkward because it doesn't have like the nice sprouting stage. It has to be between this thing and a literal dragon with wings. It can't have like half wings, that looks stupid. So it just has the facial shape of Charizard, with not a lot going on with the rest of the body. It almost staying the same, but being a bit more angular. Also, the color scheme is not doing that much for me. It feels kind of arbitrary. It's a hard one to get right. It's a hard one to do better. But they did better with the evolution, which is Charizard, which is going to go top of S tier for now. It's a fucking dragon. I think the color scheme could have been a bit different maybe, like if they went for the Charmeleon route and had like a more contrast in the color scheme with a darker shade of red instead of this orange, and maybe a whiter belly instead of the very light yellow. But I do like the wings. I do like the stance. It has like much more of a threatening personality than Venusaur has. So yeah, I do think this is the best line, even though it's got 2 in the S and 1 in the B tier, as opposed to 2 in the S and 1 in the A tier. I feel like this line is less cohesive, but has more of a peak. And then we're going for the third starter line, which are Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. Squirtle is going into the S tier as the weakest of the starters, but I mean, it's a cute little turtle guy. I can't. The Gen 1 starters are not only iconic, because I don't like to use the word iconic as in like, oh, I have so much nostalgia for these, therefore they are great, but I feel like they're just very well balanced, and I feel like they've all got very different vibes. Of course, the first stages are all like kind of friendly-ish creatures, but with the second stages we do see a lot of different types of attitudes come in, and I do think that Wartortle, and this is my first hot take, is better than Squirtle, because I really like the cloud motif, and I'm going to be judging the designs as if they were done in chronological order, while I do think that actually they made probably Squirtle and then Blastoise and then Wartortle was the weird middle child. I feel like if you evolve your Shiggy and it turns into sorry, that was the German name. If you evolve your Squirtle and it turns to Wartortle, you're like, okay, wait, that's a bit weird. It's got like clouds. What can this turn into in the final evolution? Then bam, guns on back. What the fuck? I do like Blastoise. I think it's better than Charmeleon. But it's a bit odd because I don't know, where do the guns suddenly come from? That's not been like part of the design anywhere. It just suddenly appears. If you only look at Squirtle, then Blastoise is an interesting final evolution, but it's just a bit too odd for me. No, it's not a bit too odd for me, but it comes out of nowhere and it feels a bit too random. I think that's what I'm that's what I want to say here. And Wartortle is also random, but you can kind of see the tail of Squirtle moving into this type of shape, only for Blastoise to then not have anything remotely similar to this. So I feel like Blastoise could have been cooler. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, next up we got Caterpie, and this might be a hot take. Caterpie is going into the A tier, just super cute. There's not anything else I have to say here. It's a cute Pokemon. Its evolution over Metapod is just a C tier. It's perfectly fine. And I think it's supposed to be the way it is, not as outstanding in a way. It's just a normal cocoon type Pokemon, which we'll see a lot in later generations, once more in this generation, but yeah. And then the final evolution, yeah, you know what, you're going top of B tier, Butterfree. It's just a very nice butterfly. For some I don't really have a lot to say, except maybe that Butterfree was obviously supposed to be the evolution of Venonat, but then Venonat turned up with like a different final stage. And also Venonat's evolution, what's it called? Venomoth, should have been the final evolution of Caterpie, obviously. I feel like if you look at the actual designs, those are way more likely, or like way more cohesive. So you know what? Actually, that annoys me. Actually, you're going down into the C tier, because why are you the final evolution? That doesn't make any sense. Now, let's go into an evolution line that actually is cohesive, which is the Weedle line. Weedle itself is going to go into the top of C tier. I actually like it less than Caterpie, but the reason why it's still in C tier, even though it's very much like barely even resembling a bug. Like the face is just around something. The one thing why I like it is it has the 2 spikes, which end up on Beedrill once it's hatched, which I think is very cool. Then Kakuna is going to go bottom of B tier. I feel like it's a very cool cocoon design. It has lots of personality for only being a cocoon. Always got these aggressive eyes, like waiting to burst out onto the seam and cause havoc. And that is exactly what Beedrill does, which I think is a very cool Pokemon in theory, but I do hate wasps. I don't hate bees, but this is giving more wasp to me, even though it's called Beedrill. It's a Pokemon that I think looks like an asshole, and I hate wasps. I am afraid of wasps, so fuck you, Beedrill. No one gives a shit. Pidgey, D tier. As far as starting birds go, this one is just a bird. And it's a boring one as that, with a boring color scheme. Now Pidgeotto, on the other hand, now that's a bit better. Now we're talking. We've got a little tuft of hair. We've got a lot more personality, a lot more. Pidgey has some kind of personality, but there's a lot of more confidence in the design, which I really like. Pidgeot, however, is another step down. We're going bottom of C tier. Why? Because I always have to think about whether Pidgeotto or Pidgeot is the final evolution. I feel like it's not as clear as it should be. There should be a bigger step in the evolution that differentiates Pidgeot from Pidgeotto. So yeah, it's only C tier for me. The design in of itself is very sleek, very nice, but as an evolution of Pidgeotto, it doesn't do it for me. I feel like if Pidgeotto was actually missing and didn't exist, then this would go up into the A tier. But as it stands as the last evolution in a line of 3 Pokemon, I just feel like it's weak. So Rattata goes into the C tier. It's just a rat. I do like that it's pink though. Like not pink, but it's like purple. So that's nice. Raticate, I think, is fuck ugly. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing. I could market this towards children. Pokemon is a children's video game. I could have marketed it towards children, but I've said like fuck 3 times already. Sorry, if some child is watching this, get your parents and they'll just have to like hold your ears closed whenever I say fuck. They just have to kind of predict that. But they'll know when I'll say a curse word, because it's going to happen every time a fuck ugly Pokemon like Raticate appears. What I'm also putting into consideration is how often the Pokemon, or like what role the Pokemon plays in the story, as in, if I have to see a certain design 500 times, is it going to hold up? For some designs, it will hold up. Seeing a Charizard 500 times, hey, it's still cool. But seeing a fucking Raticate 50 times, it's annoying the first time. It's horrible the 50th time. So yeah, not a lot of love for Raticate. Spearow, actually you're going to E tier. I just never liked you. I feel like it's actually a cool design. But that's one where I'm like, oh, it's cool to see for the first 5 or 6 times. But if you look at it for the entirety of the game, it just gets so annoying. I don't know why. Fearow, on the other hand, I also do not like. I feel like it's the uglier, more aggressive brother of Pidgeot. It's like the crackhead cousin. And I just don't like it for that reason. I think it's ugly. I wouldn't choose it. And it's also got a boring type. Like, give it an interesting type at least. If you give it something like flying fighting or something for some reason, or like some type that's more interesting than normal flying. We already got normal flying with Pidgeot. We don't need a Another one that's just normal flying, but uglier. Yeah. Ekans is just a snake, and I don't like it that much. I feel you're going into the top of D tier. I don't like Ekans as much. It's just literally just a snake backwards, which is funny, but it's not doing a lot with it. Arbok, on the other hand, now that's a cool Pokemon. Now that's going to go... you're going to go here, actually. Because I really like... again, it looks threatening, and you also got the very nice, dangerous design on its chest area, question mark. Which I would love to see what Pokemon this one is based on, because obviously it's trying to imitate some kind of predator and be like, oh, I'm actually, this face is my face, and this face is the face of a dangerous Pokemon. I don't know if there's been a Pokemon this has been linked to, but it's just an interesting idea. It's Pikachu. Pikachu, the most iconic mascot to ever exist, and ever will exist. For me, this goes top of B tier. It's a good design. Actually, it's a very cute design. Actually, let's put you here. Let's put you here. You're going A tier. Fine, you win. It's just a cute design. I feel like Electric Mouse is infinitely more interesting than Rattata. So like Electric Mouse over Rattata any day of the week, even though like they should be, and that's why I think they should be compared, because they serve similar purposes in the game. Like of course one is a starter in yellow, but like as like the strength of those, like Rattata and Raticate isn't that much below Pikachu and Raichu, but one of them is cool and one of them isn't. And the one that's cool is Pikachu. That's cute. Rattata, no one cares about. Raichu. It's decent. I don't have any opinion about you. You're going into here. Feel like it's actually kind of an interesting evolution to Pikachu. I don't know. It feels like it shouldn't be the final evolution. It doesn't have enough oomph to it. So yeah, that's why you are going to go into the C tier. Sandshrew. Now that's a cute one. That's one I really like. You're going top of A tier. Yes, you're going top of A tier. Let's go. I just like the designs. It looks kind of like pyramid slabs of stone. Or slabs of stone used when building the pyramids, which I think is very cool. And Sandslash is a nice evolution of that. I feel like that's going to go right around here. Also A tier. That's one of those Pokemon. Make it spikier to make it cooler, but it's also got the hedgehog thing going on. And the long claws that actually do look dangerous. So that's nice. Now for 6 Pokemon that I do not care about. Nidoran, female version, you go here. I do not care about you. This one... you're like here, and this one, you're like here. Reason being, the first stage is just boring. This one just kind of looks ugly. I don't like what they're doing with this one. And the final one, I think the breast chest plate just looks weird. And it's this kind of kaiju thing that they do a lot, but I feel like it just doesn't pay off for the most part. Like, not everything needs to look like Godzilla. It doesn't work well for a lot of these. Nidoran, the male evolution line is a bit more fun, but also not that much. We're putting you here. We're putting you here. Yeah, here. And we're putting you, Nidoking. Where are we putting you? You're somewhat cool. You're going here. I don't know. I feel like that's... actually, you're going top of C. I don't like you that much. I like the others more. So yeah, not the best line of Pokemon. And we are still continuing this dry spell with the next Pokemon, which, you know, Clefairy. Very cute. Very cute. Is it outstandingly cute? No. So it's going top of bottom of B tier for me. And Clefable, how is that an evolution? Almost nothing changed. I just don't care for this one, so we're putting you into bottom of D tier. That's where you're going. That's where you're going. Now we're back onto peak for the next two. We've got Vulpix. Super cute, super solid Pokemon you're getting right here next to Sandshrew. And then we've got Ninetails. Now that's a cool Pokemon, and you're going right here. You're going here because you're one of the best Pokemon of the first gen. It's just really nice way the design actually evolves. If you're looking into Vulpix, I actually never noticed that Vulpix actually has like 6 tails and then the 3 things on top, and then Ninetails has 9 tails, of course. It at least looks that way in the thing we have here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, and then it turns into Ninetails here. Of course, Ninetails based on the QB folklore Japanese thing, right? You've all seen Naruto, at least know what a nine-tailed fox is, but it's very cool. It's done so in an elegant manner that, to be honest, this could also be a legendary. Just saying, or like a mythical or whatever you want to call it. It has enough elegance for it. And we don't have the Alolan forms. I think they'd be in a Gen 7 tier list. But Vulpix and Alolan Ninetales would both be S tier. I feel like Alolan Vulpix is even better. But yeah, we're not ranking those. But those this is a peak line here. Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff. Jigglypuff slightly better than Clefable. Wigglytuff, just nah, you're going here. I just think nah. I don't know. Jigglypuff is cute, and technically Wigglytuff does evolve from this design, but I just do not care about you. Like who wants you? No one. That's harsh. Someone wants you, I'm sure. There's plushies of you, but I don't want you. I don't need you. You could be deleted from the Pokédex, and chances I wouldn't notice. So yeah. Moving on to something that's another bit of a hot take. Zubat is going into the A tier because I just think it's hilarious that it has no eyes. Is it annoying to hear its cry that every time you enter a cave and you hear the cry 12 times because you get invaded by this beast 12 times? Yeah, it's annoying. But I don't know, I like the design, and it's down in one hit, so it doesn't matter that much. And Golbat, also a very cool design. It's basically 90% mouth. It's so over-exaggerated, but I think that's what makes it inherently funny. Yeah, that's gonna go up until here, I feel like. Then we've got a very solid grass line. We just have a very solid grass and bug lines coming up. We've got Oddish. It's a cute Pokemon. What can I say? It's a cute Pokemon. You're going into the A tier. It's so simple. It's just a plant, like a reddish, blue reddish with a face on it, but it works well. Now, Gloom and Vileplume. Now, those are some interesting evolutions, but they're doing kind of the same thing that Bulbasaur already did. So I'm like, okay, that's you're kind of faking it, but I do think there's a lot of individual charm here, especially with Gloom. I do feel like has a lot of personality. No, I can't put you past the thing. Yeah, you're not going past Blastoise. Vileplume as the final one. I know it doesn't have as much of a personality anymore, so you're going top of C tier. I don't care for you, but I do like the evolution line overall. I think it's solid enough. Now, Paras and Parasect. Now, those are some freaky Pokemon. You know, you've got Paras still, the life still in its eyes, and then Parasect getting taken over by the mushroom. Everyone knows the story. Now, as Pokemon designs, Paras, where are you going? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. You're not going... actually, I only dislike Butterfree because of the way the evolution line commences. Yeah, you're going here. And Parasect, you're creepy. I wouldn't want you in my team, but I think it's ominous enough when you fight it that it should go... Actually, you're going here. I think it's interesting. Now, Venonat and Venomoth. Venonat is just kind of a thing, just kind of a creature, but I love it. It's so cute. Venomoth, now we've got the problem again that Venonat should evolve into Butterfree, and then this would be a very nice line and Butterfree would be in the A tier. Now, evolving into Venomoth, I do like Venomoth's design a lot. I do like it more than most people, but it's still not the most fitting final evolution. But you're still going here. I don't know, I feel like I like the design more than Butterfree, and it would be probably around here if it were the final evolution of a fitting line. But for the Venonat line, this is going here instead. Now Diglett, you are annoying because you're everywhere again, just like some of the other ones. So you're going here. Dugtrio though, that's funny, that's a good joke. It's just 3 of them. That's mildly hilarious. You're going into the B tier. Meowth. Meowth is a cat. I do love cats, but I've never been a fan of Meowth. It just got nothing to it. It's just such a nothing Pokemon. You're going like here. You're barely better than Rattata. Persian, same thing, but maybe even worse. Like this, it's just a cat. You didn't do anything with it. And also all the other forms. Alolan Meowth is actually kind of cool, but like Galarian Meowth is fuck ugly. And Persian, like the Alolan form of Persian is also ugly as shit. So yeah, not the biggest of fans for those. Psyduck, however, now that's a funny Pokemon. How much do I like Psyduck? I feel like I've been too harsh on Charmeleon actually. Actually, before we do you, let's put Charmeleon here. Yeah, that feels more right. That feels right. Psyduck. Do I like Psyduck more than Charmeleon? No, but do I like it more than Blastoise? Actually, yes. And Golduck is actually a cool evolution. It's often overlooked. I feel like it's not a lot of people's favorites, but I personally quite like it. It's going into the A tier for me. I feel like a lot of it comes from just the switch in color scheme. I feel like the blue really suits it, makes it more threatening, also makes it a bit more out there with the red orb in the middle. It's giving a bit more psychic abilities. Yeah, so that's cool. I really like Golduck. Not extremely, as you can see, it's not near my top 10, but I feel like it's underrated. Now, Mankey and Primeape I do not like. I think it's interesting, but it's just a round monkey. And I'm not the biggest on fighting types, as you will see later on. And I feel like Mankey's like a D tier for me. Like you're going here. And Primeape, it does have a presence, but it's also just so annoying. So you're going like here. Yeah. Hot take probably, but I just don't like them. I feel like I don't like the attitude. They do have a lot of attitude, but I feel like the designs are too simple and are not something I like to look at. Something I do like to look at are Growlithe and Arcanine, with Growlithe making it here into the S tier, and Arcanine's just going straight up into S tier next to Ninetales. One of the best evolution lines in the game. Yeah, there's the top 4 fire types as of now. It's going to change, don't worry, but you know, the Gen 1 fire types are just really good. Now, we've got an interesting line coming out with Poliwag. I do really think Poliwag is very cute. You're going into the A tier. And I do also think Poliwhirl is a very nice evolution of that with the fists. Poliwrath, however, it does gain a fighting type, which is cool. And it is a lot more aggressive, which is also cool. But the problem I have with it, it just looks too similar to Poliwhirl. It does have broader, like, it does have kind of hinted broader shoulders, because the arms just are a bit more horizontal, right? It's supposed to be like this very muscular, more aggressive Poliwhirl, but I think it doesn't do it well enough, so it's going to go into here for me. Otherwise, very solid line. I feel like also underrated. Now, Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam. Normally, I don't like humanoids, as we'll see in just a bit. But Abra, I think you're really cute. I feel like this is a very unique Pokemon, which is why you're going bottom of S tier. Now, Kadabra and Alakazam. I never liked Kadabra. I feel like it's a decent enough evolution, but the big tail never really set right with me, especially since Alakazam just gets rid of it. And I feel like with Wartortle I was like, okay, I can see an evolution of this cloud design working for a final evolution. With the big tail, I don't know how you could one-up the big tail without it being extremely busy, which is why Alakazam doesn't have a big tail at all. So the question is, why choose a big tail in the first place for the middle evolution? So yeah, you're going like somewhere here. Actually, like somewhere here. Yeah, that seems about right. Alakazam, threatening. And just busted. But as a Pokemon design, I think it's a solid last evolution. It's kind of almost too close to Abra again. It doesn't do a lot. I feel like if you switched around Kadabra and Alakazam, no one would like notice. Like, it doesn't scream evolution of Kadabra to me. It doesn't scream like it has evolved that much, really. But on account of it being still super cool, you're going into B tier. Now, this is a line I do not like. Machamp, I think, is mid as hell, annoying. You're everywhere, and I don't like you. Like, what are you supposed to be? You're kind of like a boy fighter, but you got these weird things on your head. And then Machoke is actually cooler. I do like Machoke for some reason. You're going to go here. That's a nice thing. You've got the wrestling belt. It kind of looks like a master. And I feel like the evolution line should just stop there. I feel like that's fine enough for a final evolution. Looks threatening. Now Machamp looks like you took Machoke and turned it into an ugly ass bird, which is why I really do not like you. Actually, let's put Wigglytuff here as well. Machamp, I just do not like you at all. Sorry. Actually, not sorry. Actually, ugh. Just stay down. I don't know. Bellsprout, I think, is cute enough. It's just a solid line. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like this one goes here. I feel like Weeping Bell is a nice evolution, be it a bit weak, and you know, I could make a joke here, but I'm not going to, because I am a grown-up. So yeah, and then for the evolution of the flashlight, we've got Victory Bell, which is actually a nice final evolution. I don't know, it's just an evolution line, like a Pokemon line that I have vaguely positive emotions about. Tentacool. Sadly, you're a bit annoying because I see you everywhere. But in theory, you're cool. Now, Tentacruel. Now, that's an evolution line that's a final evolution that's very cool. I do really like you. I think it's just, it's got a very weird design, but it's also, it brings the inherent mystery and threatening aura and brings it to the forefront quite well. I don't know, I just like Tentacruel. It's also water types are always good. You know, I do like my water types. What I also have a problem with, though, is the next line, evolution line. It's just 3 stones. I don't know. Geodude goes into the E tier. It's just stones with a fist. Doesn't really have a personality. It's just stones with a fist. So when someone complains that we've got keys in the new Pokemon game, or this one's just a click-de-clack or something, I'm like, Geodude also sucks ass. Jesus. It's such an... It's everywhere. And it's not fun. And it's so boring to fight against. No one cares. Graveler is actually a bit of a step up. I do like that it's just a bit more. I think that's kind of neat that it's a bit more. It's going up until the bottom of C tier. Now, Golem is cool in theory, but it also comes out of nowhere. It's like, how does the Geodude to Graveler transition? How is it even somewhat similar to the Graveler to Golem one? Like Golem, it starts, haha, it's actually a Kaiju dinosaur again. And of course, you've got limited things you can do with the designs because of the limitations of the Game Boy. But like, I feel like you could have done a lot better here. And Golem just comes out of nowhere, so I don't particularly like it. It's just going to go into like the bottom of D tier for me. It does look cool, but as a last step of this line, I think it doesn't fit at all. Now we've got one for the horse girlies. Ponyta, super solid Pokemon, going straight into the A tier. It's just a fire horse, I mean, what's not to love? And Rapidash going up into the S tier. Yet another fire type in the S tier. I swear I'm almost done with those. It's just such a cool concept. It's a unicorn horse with a fire mane. I mean, what else do you need? You don't need anything else because you do have Rapidash. I feel like you can have like the coolest all fire type Pokemon team out of any gen in Gen 1, because Rapidash, you can have Charizard, Ninetails, Arcanine, and then you can also add, is it called Lavados in English as well? Let me check. Moltres, you can add Moltres and Flareon, and you've got like one of the coolest monotype teams ever. Now Slowpoke, that's a funny one. Now that's a funny one. That's a funny little guy. I do like this one. I do have similar emotions about both of these, which means this one is going to go here and this one is going to go here. Yes, I feel like that's nice. It's just a silly Pokemon. It's so slow it doesn't even realize it's been bitten. It's such a cool idea for an evolution, especially in the first gen, to be like, oh yeah, was bitten by a different Pokemon, but that caused it to evolve. I think it's very nice. Now Magnemite, I actually do like Magnemite. I feel like it's an underrated Pokemon. Going into the B tier for me, a cool concept for a Pokemon, even though it's just magnets. I don't know, I feel like it's got Magneton, however, that's boring. It's just, oh, let's do 3 again. Just like, do you remember Dark Trio? We kind of did it again. Haha. Like, sure, when I see it, I think it's kind of interesting. But yeah, you'll stay in the C tier because I feel like there could have been more. I mean, Magnezone is a... We did get Magnezone, but like, yeah. Now, Farfetch'd is so stupid that I do kind of like it. It's just a bird with a leak. Nothing more, it's just a bird, but we add a leak. And I think that's just kind of funny. I heard that it's supposed to be like a saying or something in Japanese, like a bird doesn't arrive, with its leak or something. Like if you want to cook a bird it doesn't come with the ingredients or something. It's supposed to mean like something like you gotta work for parts of what you do. Like not everything is gonna be handed to you on a silver platter. That type beat, I think is what it means. I don't know. Now Doduo and Dodrio. Doduo, you're going into Duo the C tier. You're just solid. Dodrio is actually going to go into the B tier. While I did not like that Magneton has the oh, it's 3 now thing. For Dodrio, I think it fits because actually we got a lot more personality in each of the heads here, which I like. Seal is just a seal, but I do have to say it is a very, very cute seal. So you're going to go around here. Now Dugong is a very sleek, it kind of just turns the design into a sleeker version of itself, and I think that's solid enough, but like for a final stage of this evolution line, I think it doesn't do enough, so this is going to go here into the B tier as well. Now we've got Grimer and Muk, which I think in concept are very cool, but I don't know, like you're here or something, and Muk actually, because it's quite strong if I remember correctly, actually has a threatening aura, which is going to hand it a B tier, but nothing to write home about that much on either of those. Now Shelder, that's another funny one. Shelder, that's a funny one. You're going to go into the A tier, right up there, because I just think you're a funny Pokemon. You look funny, and the evolution is also very cool. It's just, actually, you're going here, you know, and that's not only because I'm a feminist, obviously, but because I just think it's a cool Pokemon. Water Ice type is a nice type, and, you know, it might be surprising to see this one in S tier, but I just really like it. I don't know. Could also be top of A. Actually, let's keep the S tier a bit less occupied. Let's move you down to around here. And let's move you down to here. Yeah, let's keep it that way. Now the Ghastly, Haunter, Gengar evolution line. I do not care for Ghastly that much. I think it's a bit annoying. I don't know why. It appears too often. And it's like, haha, you have to fight me again. And I'm like, okay, sure. It's a cool concept. It's a dark concept. So you're going to go top of C tier. Haunter, I never liked. I don't know. Of course, it's a very cool concept again, because it's like an evil spirit or a soul that's kind of manifesting and getting more physical with every evolution. But I don't know, I feel like Ghastly is a bit more mysterious about its intentions. Gengar is like this little shit-eating grin kind of guy who's going to ruin your day, and Haunter is just feels a bit too evil, especially for a mid-stage evolution. I don't know, I could flip these two around, like Gengar and Haunter around, and it would maybe fit more. But Haunter is too much for what it tries to go for. I don't know, I feel like you're too much. You're also too big. You're like almost 2 meters. Why are you 2 meters? But Gengar, now that's a funny one. It's just, for a ghost type, that's such a funny thing. It's just a thing with a face, and it's going to ruin your day, and that's why you're going to go into the A tier. Onyx. You know, I hated the stone with fists, but the stone snake, I do like the stone snake. The stone snake is very cool, and that is why you are going to go here into the A tier. I just like you. I don't know. I feel like it's a very imposing Pokemon. Of course, the water weakness, especially in Gen 1, is kind of like ruining your day, but it's still cool. I like it. It's the best rock type Pokemon of the first gen, probably. Not that it's that hard, because I really dislike all the other rock type Pokemons. Is there one coming up? There's maybe one that can kind of fall. Is 2 or 3 more that are kind of good. But yeah, I do feel like Onix is my favorite rock type of the first gen. Now, Drowsy and Hypno, those are some Pokemon that I really hate. Drowsy's fine, but I don't like its intentions. I think it's design-wise it's fine, but it's already got that vibe, you know, that vibe where I'm like, you know, maybe I should call some kind of like some kind of protective service. I'm not sure if I should let my kids go to this park again, ever since I've seen this one in the bushes. I feel like it's not safe. I feel like this one's trouble. And then the next one is literally a pedophile. You're going into F tier. Krabby, however. Now, Krabby and Kingler are just crabs. But you guys underestimate just the fact that I like crabs. And I do like them a lot. I think you're going here, and Kingler has this kind of prominent left claw, which makes it stand out. I feel like that's a very cool thing, and that's why Kingler's actually going to go up until here, into the A tier. Another very solid water line. As you can see, the water Pokemon are consistently in the A and B tier, basically, with some exceptions. Now, Voltorb and Electrode. Voltorb is kind of funny, but I do not care for you at all. Like, it's just a Pokeball. Get it, it's a Pokeball. Electrode has a lot more attitude. And it's kind of funny because it's turned on its head, and that's the evolution. But also, I just don't like it. I just do not like you. I don't know. It's the favorite for some, I'm sure, but I just don't get a lot of joy out of these ones. Execute. Now, that's a Pokemon I also do not like. I think it's funny. I think it's too funny to not be in B tier at least. But it could do better. Could do better. Also, Kadabra, what are you doing? Are you better than these? Actually, let's put you here. Let's put you here. Okay. Oh, so shouldn't you go into the B tier then? Ooh. That's better. Now, Executor, that's a funny one. That's another funny one. Like, how do you even get this idea, right? But I do like the idea. So you're going to go into, yeah, top of B tier, just about. It's a funny one. Now, Cubone and Marowak are technically just like the 20th dinosaur we've seen, but Cubone is very solid and very cute, and evolves through trauma. I don't know what that is trying to tell me, but I do like the idea here, and I do think they're unique enough to warrant them an A tier. Fighting types, we've got Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Hitmonlee I do not care about at all. I feel like it's kind of ugly to look at. So one of my least favorites of this channel. And Hitmonchan I actually do kind of like it. It's one of those top of C tiers for me again. You're like going to go into... You're going to go here. You're decent enough. Same goes for the next few Pokemon. Lickitung is just a funny Pokemon, but it's just not unique, right? I'm not going to be like, oh hell yeah, I've got Lickitung on my team. No one has ever said that. Coughing and wheezing are funny and also concerning. And that's why both of them are going to go around the same spot into the C tier. Rhyhorn is actually a very cool Pokemon. I do like this one quite a bit. You're going to go into the top of B tier-ish. Actually, Psyduck, let's move you past Blastoise. Okay, now everyone can delete their comments again. Blastoise still A tier, just because I don't like where it went with the design, but it's still, I don't know, I still like it. Okay, Rhydon, also kind of cool. Less cool, however, than the first evolution. Just, oh, now it stands. I'm still gonna give you a B tier, though. I feel like you're cool. I do still like you. Chansey is one of those C tier types that I really don't have a lot to say about. It's just the very helpful type Pokemon, and that's nice, you know? Not every Pokemon needs to stand out, and Chansey is still a very well respected Pokemon, I feel like. But, you know, it's not a lot of people's favorites, and for good reason. It doesn't stand out. We've got like 10 other pink normal Pokemons. We don't need more. Now, Tangela is funny because it's just a bunch of vines, but I like that. I think that's what makes it really funny, so you're going to the B tier. Kangaskhan, however, is one I always forget exists, so you're going into the E tier. I do not care for you at all. It would be so easy to make like a baby stage or another evolution to this one, and they just didn't. So yeah. Up next we got another flashlight, which is interesting. Horsey, it's a cool Pokemon. I do really like its design. I think it's cute. And Seadra, you know, it needs another evolution, but I do really think this one on its own is already really cool. So actually Golduck is too high. Golduck is a bit too high. Let's put you down to B tier. Let's not get too high here, okay? I might have to change some around in the A and B tier. I'm not too happy with those yet. So Seadra, you're not going C tier. You're going into the A tier. You're going here. Above Tentacruel, I really like Seadra. I feel like it's a very cool Pokemon. Now Goldeen is nice enough. Going here. Seaking is one of the Pokemons of this gen. I do not care about you. Now Staryu and Starmie are yet again two more water Pokemon, which I think are very cool. Staryu is just going to go into the B tier. It's solid enough. Starmie has a nice threatening vibe, so you're going to go... Actually, you're going to be the next out from the S tier. You're going to be top of A tier. Now, of course, there's not a lot of changes going on, but it's just a different color scheme, just a different type of pose. It just looks a bit more threatening, and if you've played the game, Starmie is actually kind of nice. It's kind of fun. So yeah, that's why it's A tier. Again, the water types, they're doing a lot of work here. Now let me adjust some of the A tier, because I feel like I've been too well-meaning to some of them. This feels good, this feels good. So, now we can continue. Mr. Mime, F tier. I do not like the humanoids, and I feel like Gen 1 has some terrible ones. So yeah, this one is straight up ass. Now, something that's not straight up as a Scyther, it's really cool. It is one of my favorites of this gen, I feel like. So you're going... where are you going? Actually, let's put you into the S tier. You know, why not? Let's put Scyther into the S tier. I feel like it's a very cool design, especially for a first generation, right? Like, if this would have come out of the third generation, sure, you have to, like, look for different bugs to make Pokemon out of. But for a first generation bug type, this is really cool. But now back to the trenches again, as we've got the worst Pokemon, maybe of all time. We've got Jinx, F tier. You know the controversy about Jinx, but also just, even if we like don't take this into account, that's one of the worst designs I've ever seen in my entire life. I do not like it whatsoever. It is ass. Electabuzz. Electabuzz is cool. Electabuzz is neat. Electabuzz is, however, nothing too special. So you're just going to slot into the middle of B tier. You're nice, I like you. But it's just monster that's electric. And it does its job well. Someone who doesn't do the job well is Magma, because it's monster that's also fire, but it just really doesn't convey that. Actually, let's move you here as well, and let's move you down. I don't like you that much. Magma, where do we have you? Where did I put you now? Here. Yeah, actually stay here. You're nothing special. Let's move you up a bit. Yeah, it just looks weird. It doesn't look cool. Yeah, but on the other hand, the bug types at least stay winning, because we've got Pinsir, and Pinsir is gonna move up all the way to almost top of A. Very solid Pokemon, very cool design. It's simple, but still gets the point across very well, which is that this one is a physical beast, a physical attacker. Is it a physical attacker? Yeah, it's a physical attacker, and I feel like this gets conveyed really well with these mandibles. Yeah, just very solid. Tauros is a Pokemon that's, I think, a bit underrated, but not enough for me to do so to really make a case for it. Some say it's just a ball. I think there's a bit more going on. It has a bit of a mythical vibe to it as well. So I'm actually going to move it up just a tad. Yeah, I might have to take a look at the top of C and bottom of B tier as well, because some of those don't sit right with me just yet. Now, Magikarp. Magikarp is funny. I do like it. It's so useless. It's iconic in the best way possible. And Magikarp is going into the high A tier. And it should evolve into Dragonite. If you look at the design side by side, then it shouldn't evolve into Gyarados. But it doesn't matter to me that much, because I feel like the payoff is still there for Magikarp, since it evolves into Gyarados. And Gyarados is just one of the coolest designs, let's be honest here. It's going to go right here into the S tier. That's not a hot take at all. Gyarados is just that guy. Just kind of this Chinese inspired, or like East Asian inspired dragon design. It is not dragon, and a single volt of electricity will kill it, but it's still such a fun Pokemon. Lapras, now we're going into S tier again, because I feel like it's just one of the friendliest Pokemon. Water Ice is a very fun typing. It's strong, it's helpful. It's also interesting. It's kind of got like this Loch Ness turtle style. Also kind of looks like a goat from the face, but like friendlier, not as freaky as a real goat, because a real goat would be horrible. But yeah, Lapras, great Pokemon. Ditto is a weird one to rank because it can be literally anything. And that's why it's going to be in the B tier. And it's a nice idea because the design itself is just a blob, but there's a reason why it's just a blob, and I think that's enough for me. I feel like that's makes it stand out, and it's one of like 4 Pokemon in this gen that have this kind of like artificial vibe to it, like 3 of them, I guess. Ditto, Porygon, and Mewtwo. And I like it quite a lot. Let's put you into closer to the top of B tier. Eevee. Eevee is a solid mon. Eevee is going to go here-ish. Yes. Eevee is in the A tier. It's cute. What can I say? It's very cute. Now we've got the evolutions, and that's one of the things that makes Eevee the most interesting. One of the most interesting Pokemon in Gen 1 is that you can evolve it into 3 different creatures. Actually, Eevee is getting a boost because it's such a good mascot. Let's put you here because it's both dog and cat. It can be both. It can also be a rabbit if you look at it funny. Like that's such a. I feel like the evolutions are more cat coded, especially like Flareon, but the others can still count as dogs. So it's a very cool mascot Pokemon. So I'm kind of surprised that Eevee didn't become the mascot, but Pikachu did. Vaporeon. Did you know that Vaporeon... Okay, I'm just gonna stop myself right there. It's solid. It's fun. Is it my favorite evolution? No. I do think design-wise, it's the most interesting out of the first 3. But I don't like what that interesting nature actually ends up doing. So I'm still gonna put you into the A tier, but low. For Jolteon, I think... Actually, you're going to go near each other because I don't have too strong opinions when it comes to differentiating you on a design basis. I feel like Flareon is maybe the most boring, but it's also the most that looks like most functioning design. You know, Flareon, I've always hated on Flareon. My friends know it because I feel like it's a bit mid as far as evolutions go, but evolutions also have a high, like, the mid of an evolution is still very good. Jolteon, we're gonna move up to here, and Vaporeon is gonna stay here. Okay, all of them in A tier. I feel like that's nice enough, right? I feel like that's nice enough. Yeah, let me know if you have them differently. I probably would have if I did this tomorrow, if I did this yesterday. I flip-flop around on these a lot, but I feel like Vaporeon has the most interesting design, but it's a bit too busy. Jolteon is just like, oh, it's a lightning cat, but it looks cool, so it still pays off. And Flareon is the most boring, but solid overall. We do have, like, the other evolutions. I feel like there's 3 or 5 that I like more than those, by the way. Porygon is very funny in theory. In reality, it's just a fun joke, basically. I don't know, it's like an in-joke. It's just, oh, you know, everything's going 3D, but this is a 2D game, so we've done a 3D Pokemon, but made a 2D sprite. Kind of this one, yeah. But it's decent enough. Okay, I will do everything until Snorlax, and then I'll just move around some that I think need some changes. Omanyte. I always kind of liked Omanyte, so you're going into the B tier, and Omastar is going to go right up almost with all of these. You're actually going to go here into the A tier, which is full of water types, by the way. As we've seen before, there's so many good water types in this generation. And now we've also got a rock type that's above Onyx, so that's nice as well if you like rock types, I guess. Now Kabuto, also very cool. I do like you. Do I like you more than Omanyte? I think I do, because you don't know what this one's going to turn into. And then it turns into Scyther again, kind of. So that's cool, but it's too similar to Scyther for me to actually award it any more brownie points, so to speak. Still high B tier, I still like it though. Aerodactyl, Aerodactyl, is another solid one. And it's also going to go in this high B tier section. Yeah, I might have to change around some of these, because I feel like some of these high B tiers should be in the A tier. But we'll get to that when we'll get to it. Yeah. Which is in a few Pokemon, actually. Actually, after this next one. Snorlax is funny, it's cute, it's memeable, which is why you're going to go into the A tier. Now let's move around some. So I think I'm pretty much done now. I made some changes to the B tier and the C tier. So I feel like that's a bit better. Let's move you up as well a bit. Still unsure, but I don't like what you're doing. I feel like you're a bit boring. I don't know. B and C tier is a bit murky waters here and there. But yeah, otherwise, we're looking good, and we now can move on to the last 8. Starting off with Arcticuno, which is going to slot right into the top spot. I think this might be my favorite of all the Gen 1 Pokemon. But is it though? Ooh. It's very tough between the first 4 here. But let's put you second after Charizard. It's a great Pokemon. I feel like it is a legendary bird. Like this, I look at this and I'm like, yes, this is a legendary bird. Which I don't necessarily feel the same about for Zapdos. I feel like this is neat, but it's also just Jolteon again. So this is going to go into the high A tier. I do really like it. It looks aggressive, which I think is fun. It could be cooler. I don't know. It could do more. It's just sparking edges. Get it? Because it's a electric bird. I feel like Pikachu does a way better way of being like, oh, I'm a electric Pokemon, and I'm also just a mouse. I feel like it combines the 2 elements better. The reason why Zapdos is above Pikachu is because Pikachu It's just a bit normie. I don't know, and Zapdos does have a nice aura around it. Speaking of aura, Moltres has a lot of aura, and that's what's going to net it the bottom of S tier. I think that Moltres looks a bit too much like a chicken. Like, it just looks like a cooked chicken. Like, this could be the Kentucky Fried Chicken mascot for all I care. But it also has the aura, and I think this is what saves it, basically. Yeah, we're not taking the Galarian forms into consideration here, but yeah, Arcticuno by far my favorite, and Zapdos and Moltres, it kind of actually depends on a day. But yeah, actually let's move some around here. I feel like you two need to go down. And you need to go up. Yes. Now that's better. Now that's great. Okay. Now that I've readjusted the ranking a bit yet again, yeah. Still Moltres remains in S tier. 5 more. We've got Dratini, which I think is very cute. It's a very cute dragon type. Yeah, just going to slot in nicely here. Dragonair. Now that's a wonderful mid-stage evolution. One of my favorites. It's actually going to go above Gyarados. Gyarados is going to go down here, actually. One of my favorites, which is why I think it should evolve into Gyarados. And if you've watched some videos on it, you know that design-wise, it really should evolve into Gyarados, and Magikarp should evolve into Dragonite instead, but it doesn't. And while I think for the Magikarp line it works, because it's still like, oh, you've got this stupid fish and it turns into Gyarados. It doesn't work for the Dratini line because you've already got this majestic Dragonair, and it turns into Dragoran, which is, oh, it's a dragon, which is cool, but I just don't like it that much. It's here. I don't know. Hot take. I don't like it that much. Now Mewtwo's got a very interesting design. And I know what they're going for, but I can't put it higher than this. This is as far as Mewtwo will go. It's never been one of my favorites, and it's still very cool, but you know, this is still a good spot. I don't know what to tell you. Mew, on the other hand, is a bit better, and is actually the perfect Pokemon to almost round out the S tier. So Mew is going into the S tier. We've now got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, like over 15 Pokemon in the S tier, meaning a lot of them are high quality. We've got a lot of A tier, a lot of B tier, and then C, D, E, F are less so. I don't think I'll change them around as much because some of these, I don't have fixed rankings for all of them. It's just vibes only, basically. But yeah, I do think this is my list, and I do hope you like, and if you don't like it, tell me why you disagree. It's not going to change my mind, but I'm willing to listen, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and what your favorite and least favorite Pokemons are. Maybe some of you like Chinks. Do we have any Chinks lovers in chat? Maybe some of you like Hypno. If we've got any Hypno lovers in chat, I will call the police. But yeah, this was this video. I don't know, it's not going to be edited in a super detailed manner. It's just me ranting, basically. If you wanna hear me rant over the second generation as well, let me know. If not, then also let me know, or don't let me know. But that's it for today, and I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.